What's up, YouTube? Hey, it's your boy, Mr. Knock One Down. Back in the kitchen today. And I think I'm gonna cook up some collard greens today, and I'm gonna air fry some pork steak. So hey, y'all stay tuned. Come along with me for the ride. Simple meal. Anybody can do it. I had to get a new stove on yesterday. The previous one has been giving us some issues with the pressure on the burners there. When you turn one up on high, it's fine, but when you turn multiple on high, they all would come down. So we got a new stove, and this stove come with an air fryer, so I'm gonna try it out today. So stick around. Let me show you what I got here thus far. As you can see, I already have my collard greens in here. Seasoned with a little salt, a little black pepper, a little red pepper flakes, and that's a smoked ham hock that I'm gonna use for flavoring. And I'm gonna add chicken broth to this instead of water. And I'm gonna add some jalapeno peppers in there, give it a little spice. I've started cutting up my peppers. I'm probably gonna be the only one to eat these. The kids and the wife doesn't like greens, so that's fine. Whatever I don't eat, I'll freeze it. Then when I'm wanting greens later on, I'll have some. Just go to the deep freezer and grab them, throw them in the crock pot or in the pot on the stove, and there you go. Voila. Got that done, so we'll go ahead and add these to the pot. Now I won't need much liquid because this is a crock pot. It'll make its own liquid. So I'm going with H-E-B brand chicken broth. And the chicken broth gonna give it that flavor instead of just adding plain water. You can smell it already. So now I'm just gonna add the lid. I got the crock pot on high. We're gonna let it go. Set it and forget it. Yo, I forgot to mention to add 2 tablespoons of sugar to this. And this kind of knocks out the bitterness of collard greens. So we're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of sugar in this. Then we're gonna add a little garlic also. I put some garlic powder in there, but I wanna add some minced garlic to that. Let me wash my spoon. I'm gonna do about half a tablespoon. Give it that pop. And it's gonna add a little apple cider vinegar to this also. And if it's not to your taste, as you started cooking, you can always add a little bit more of whatever you think you're missing. I didn't think I had onion in the refrigerator, but I found some. So we're gonna add some onions in there. Just kind of cut them up however you like. Add those bad boys to the pot. Bring a lot of flavor to the game. Just a little FYI to you guys. Ever since I found the Mexican rice recipe, and I perfected it the first time, and I've been in love with it. So today, I'm gonna cook some Mexican rice also, and take you step by step on how I do it. Normally I use white rice, but I'm trying to cut back on a lot of the starch, and I'm gonna go with a brown rice this time. So I'm gonna cut up my onions, my Roma tomatoes, and I'm gonna blend it and make my own tomato sauce instead of using the tomato sauce in the can. So stay tuned. You don't need a lot of onion to do this. I'll say about that much. I'll cut that in half. Wash these tomatoes off. Let's see how much brown rice I have. It's going to determine how much sauce I'm going to make. And you just drop them in there like that. I got about a cup of rice, thereabouts. So that's what we're gonna go with. Those 2 tomatoes will be fine. All right, I got all my ingredients for my Spanish rice. Mexican rice, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna start out with a half a tablespoon of Cummins. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Just gonna go with a pinch of oregano. That hasn't been opened. And go with a teaspoon of onion powder. There you have it. Go with a teaspoon of garlic powder. Go with a teaspoon of salt. I normally don't like to put a full teaspoon in it. That'll work. And chicken bouillon powder, I'm gonna go with a tablespoon. Probably about all that, almost out of that. That's it for the seasoning. So I can kind of mix that together. And this is gonna go in later. During the cooking process. All right, now we're gonna focus on the cooking process. Get my cast iron heated up. Use whatever olive choice you like. My choice is going to be avocado oil. It has a high burning point up to like 500 degrees. So I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons in here of avocado oil. We let that heat up. While that's heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and blend my Roma tomato and onion. I think that ought to be perfectly fine. We're still letting this oil get up to temp. Like I said, I got about a cup of rice here, brown rice, so we're gonna go with that. So for every cup of rice, takes 2 cups of water or chicken broth. And that I bought 2 of them while I was at the store. I was anticipating having one in the fridge from a previous meal that I used it in. You can hear it sizzling. You don't want to burn it, but you want it to brown good. Turn the fire down a little bit. So we're just going to continue to let that cook until it starts browning. Then we'll add in our homemade tomato sauce. All right, got the rice brown pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and add my tomato sauce. Go ahead and sprinkle in my seasoning. Mix that seasoning up real good with it. Let that mate real good, and then we'll add our 2 cups of chicken broth. From that point on, you don't want to do any stirring. You don't want your rice to come out mushy. And once I add that liquid to it, we'll let that cook for about 15-20 minutes, I guess. Kind of turn the burner down, let it more like simmer. Put that on low. As you can see, you got that dark reddish color to it. So now all I'm gonna do is let that simmer. Now I'm gonna wash out my blender cup and on to the next project, which will be washing and preparing the pork steak to be air fried. Good wine. They also have a nice vineyard too, up in Wimberley, Texas. Good place for you and your wife to go and check out if it's something you guys are interested in. We have several wineries up there that we visited. Dutchman makes a good one. Canto Felicier. So it can make a dark and a red. That's my favorite, but I can't. HEB used to have it, but I can't find it anymore. So, like my wife and I want to make us another trip. All right, the next dish I'm going to prepare before I air fry those pork steaks. It's a country boy delicacy. And a lot of city folks not going to understand this. You weren't raised on it. And it's called chicken feet. That's right, chicken feet. So I'm going to take you guys along on how to prepare this chicken feet meal. And hey, if you get the nerves to try it, you won't be disappointed. All right, I got them washed up. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start seasoning them. I'll add me some garlic powder. And the onion powder in. And I'm also cut up about a quarter of an onion and stick in there. Add me a little salt. And I like it using the natural sea salt better than that iodine. Kosher salt is another one. I went to the grocery store, but for some reason I keep walking out of there without it. Add some pepper to it. Good flavor. I'm gonna throw a few red pepper flakes in there on them. And the way you do this, cook this meal, you just let them cook down until they get tender. It's almost like eating pig feet. Same texture. If you don't get down with pig feet, you probably won't get down with this. But hey, I'm a country boy at heart, so you can't miss me on this. And my onion cut up. I'm gonna add me a little Tony Chachere in there. Last but not least, chicken broth. Got my fire going, so now all I'm gonna do is just put a lid on it, let it do its thing. Told you guys I had something for you. It's going down today. Hey, hey, hey. Chicken feet on the menu. All right, I'm gonna let you guys take a peek on the rice, see how it's doing. So I can cut that off. That's my Mexican rice. Good to go. Let me just move this to the back burner. All the moisture is out. Good firm rice. Let it cover. Just cover it back up and let it sit. Hey, Driftwood Estates Winery. It's another good place you might want to check out. So right now I'm gonna clean this pork steak. Then I'm gonna cut it in half. Wash it up real good. All this too, you want to make sure you wash off your meat real good, because when they cut this with those meat saws, they have little fine bone fragments in the meat and whatever else may get on it. And when you get it in the grocery store to the table, you want to make sure you wash it real good before you cook it. Piping hot water. All right, next I'm gonna cut them in half. All right. These pork steaks kind of let you know what to cut them. now you can kind of see how many cuts of meat, how many pieces you can turn one large pork steak into. So I'm probably not gonna cook all of this. Just that simple. Wash my hands up. So now I'm gonna kind of sort through it and see how many pieces my air fryer rack, not a whole, and I'll season that amount and bag the rest. Y'all stay tuned. All right, I'm starting off with about 10 pieces of pork steak. And if I have any more room on the tray, I'll add some to it. Like I said earlier, I got 10 pieces I'm gonna start out with. I got about 11 pieces that I bagged. So we're gonna go ahead and introduce a little garlic to this. Let that seasoning rain down on it. We'll go with some onion powder. And we'll go with some Tony Chachere. Remember, if you ain't sneezing, you ain't seasoning. Us Louisianians like to taste our food. I'm originally born and raised in North Louisiana. I had family members in Texas, California as well. But now I'm a Texan. Still have to revert back to my roots. We flipped it over and then we're gonna hit it with another dose of garlic powder, with onion powder. I'm gonna hit it with that Chachere. When you're air frying in the oven, you gotta put your baking sheet laced with foil up under it so it catch the dripping. Step away. Cover my nose and my mouth. I told you guys, if you ain't sneezing, you ain't seasoning. It look like I might be able to. This is the rack, air fryer rack that came with the new stove. Get all that goodness up. I don't want to leave nothing behind. I think I could stick about 3 more pieces in there. Some good leftovers. Good leftovers. Let me set this to the side like that. Got some little feet up on this so it's not sitting directly on the cabinet. And then I think they're leaving with 8 to put in the refrigerator, the freezer. Go ahead and get this residual seasoning that's already in here. Polish it up. With more. Hit it with that garlic. A little love there. A little onion powder. Once again. Yeah, boy. It's going down in the Hudson household. Try to exhibit this. All the boys, Blake and Bryce, 15 and 10, they cooking breakfast now. They learning. Cooking a little macaroni and cheese, Roman noodles. So I'm teaching them like my mama taught me. Be prepared when you get out in the real world. Be able to cook for yourself. Don't depend on a woman or no one else. You may not. Eating out is not healthy for you all the time anyway. If you're doing a lot of eating out, it's not healthy for you. There's gonna be some days where you just can't afford to eat out. Just got enough money to go to the grocery store and purchase something to cook, which is better, cheaper. If you don't know how to cook, then you're stuck. You'd be surprised how many men don't know how to cook, and women as well. They don't know how to throw down in the kitchen. Find you somebody that know how to throw down, boy, you got yourself something. All right, that's how we got it trade up. Okay, I oil season the meat and then I oil it up, vice versa. Oil it, season it, either which way you want to do it. And then I dress it with a little Louisiana seasoned chicken fry. Just a little bit to give it a little crust while it's air frying. All right, just to give you an idea of what I was talking about. Got it kind of dredged a little bit there. And now I got my drip pans up in the bottom. So once I start, all the drippings will go into the pan and out in the oven. So stay tuned. All right, let's take a look at these greens and see how they're coming along. Ham hock is broken up. Took out the fatty part. That's looking good, smelling good. We're gonna put that top back. Got these bad boys in. I didn't have it started. I thought I had it started, but it wasn't on, so I'm glad I decided to take another look at it. I have a little air fryer that I take with me when I'm on the road. This is even nice. I have one at the house that I can put more in it versus the little small one. So we'll check back in a little bit. Hey, I'm back. That delicacy is done. It's cooked to perfection, seasoned just right. Hey, it's time to chow. You seen it first on Chasing Tails Outdoors. All chicken feet, seasoned to perfection. Now you can also fry these if you like. I like them both ways, but I prefer the ball better. It's almost like a pig feet when you cook them like this. It's no different, it's just chicken. So now that I got it out of the pot on the plate, hey, it's the country boy style. Like I say, most of these city guys, city girls, y'all not gonna vibe with this. But this is how I go down. Good. Take the bone out. Hey, I don't know what to tell you, but the country boy can survive. I want to thank you guys for tuning in on today's episode of Chasing Tails. Well, I brought it to you first. I hadn't seen it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I haven't seen it anywhere. But I know they're being eaten every day. I brought it to you first. Your boy, Mr. Knock One Down, country boy style. Hey guys, my meal is done here for today. Air fried pork chops in my new stove oven today. Everything went perfect. It's a little smoky when you're dealing with meat that's high and got a lot of fat on it. But other than putting the vent hood on, even with all that, I still had quite a bit of smoke. But just want you guys to see that. Take you over here to these collard greens. That's about call it done on those too. I sampled them a little earlier. The leaves are still a little tough, but they should be about ready right now. So, crock pot collard greens. Hey, like always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to my channel, Chasing Tails Outdoors. I'm your boy, Mr. Knock One Down. I was in the kitchen today doing quite a few things. I made Mexican rice, I made the delicacy, fried, boiled chicken feet, collard greens, and I air fried pork steak. Showed you guys all that. So the kids gonna be happy. I'm happy. Until next time. Peace.
Count to 10 until I fall in love again. Find your